Super Rugby recap is brought to you by Specsavers. Okay, now the biggest surprise of this weekend was actually that the Bulls are now out. Why don't you take us through that game? Anything that surprised you?
Right, the Bulls had a mathematical chance of still qualifying for the playoffs, but they had to beat the Stormers and then win next weekend with bonus points. But they lost to the Stormers and didn't pick up any points for that. So, they're totally out of it. South Africa will now have 1 out of the 6 teams in the playoffs. That's guaranteed, the Sharks as conference winners, but no more than that. And that's our worst return since the new playoff system was introduced. So not great from a South African point of view. But in that particular match, the Stormers are really, really impressive. Coach Alistair Coetzee said it was without doubt their best performance of the season. And again, hats off to the Stormers. They started off really, really poorly this season. They were bottom of the South African Conference and the overall conference. But I think the second half, they really showed the sort of what we could have hoped for early in the year. They've had perhaps the best second half of the season out of any of the teams. Unfortunately for them, too little, too late. They've run out of time and matches, but they're in third position in the South African Conference now. There's even a chance that they could move to second, depending on what happens in next week's final round of matches. But they won 16-0. They actually led 16-0 at half time. There was no points scored in the second half, where it got really, really cold and the rain came bucketing down. Not great conditions to play in. But, again, the Stormers were really, really impressive on defence. They sort of pride themselves on this blanket defence, which, has conceded very, very few points. That's actually the second match in a row at Newlands that they haven't conceded a point. So credit to the defensive team at the Stormers. And they were all over the Bulls in the first half. They actually, I don't want to say squandered a number of scoring opportunities, but they could certainly have had a couple of more tries. So, that score could have been ballooned out to even more. So, again, the Stormers will settle for that performance. They'll look back and think, why didn't we do this earlier in the year? But certainly it ends the season off on a high note for them with something to build on and look forward to next season.